All right, hello everybody. My name is Kata and I'm a personal trainer and group fitness instructor that works with 50 and better. And today we're going to go through a few mobility drills to do a self-assessment of your mobility for the major joints of your body. In a previous video, and I will put a link to that in this video, we talked about the difference between stability, flexibility, and mobility. And today we're going to go through some assessments that you can do to self-assess your mobility. We're going to do some shoulder, some hip, some ankle, and some thoracic spine. And some of the exercises are performed standing, and some of them are going to be down on the floor. So all that you're going to need is you will need a wooden dowel or a broomstick for one of the exercises and a doorway. But the rest of the exercises you can perform on your own standing. It does help to have somebody else watching you and maybe even recording you, because sometimes we lose that self-awareness and we think that we're doing something and we think that we're not arching our back, and then we look at ourselves on a video and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm arching my back more than I thought that I was. So we're gonna go ahead and get started and do the standing drills, and then we'll do the ones down on the floor. So the first one is we are going to do a back scratch test, and you will see that I definitely need to work on my shoulder mobility. I've had some issues with my shoulders, so you will see the difference. So a back scratch test, and we're going to test both sides, is you start with your arms out, and I know my video is not great, you can't see it. You're going to start with your arms out, and one hand is going to be up and the other hand is going to be down. And all we're going to do is we're going to take the hand that is up and we're going to bring it up, and the hand that it is down, we're going to bring it back around, and you are going to see how close your fingers can get. Okay, so you're going to see how close your fingers can get, and you're going to do both sides. So let's do the other side. So now the hand that was down is going to be up and vice versa. So we take the hand that's up, bring it up, and we're going to take the hand that was down and bring it up this way. And I don't know if you heard that, but my shoulder just popped. And we're going to just reach. So this is a good one to see, have somebody else maybe do a little measure. When I do assessments, I actually measure this, and we will see how close your fingers get. Ideally, you'd like them to touch. If they go over that and they overlap, awesome. If they touch, you're doing really good. If they're less than 2 inches apart, you can use a little work, but you're still fine. But if they're more than 2 inches apart, it means that you have a little difficulty with internal and external rotation of those shoulders. Now, always listen to your body, and if you've had shoulder joint replacements and your doctor says don't do this, obviously don't do this, all right? But for those of you that, haven't had a replacement surgery, and you're feeling okay, go ahead and give this one a shot. The next one that we are going to do is you're going to need to be back against the wall. And you're going to want to be back against the wall. Your hips are going to be against the wall, shoulders against the wall. You're going to do a little tuck of your tummy so that your low back is close to the wall. We don't want to have it arching away, but you don't necessarily have to have it disappear. Your feet are going to be about 6 inches away from the wall. You're going to place your hands one on top of the other. You're going to tuck those ribs. Keep that low back pulled in. You're going to take a nice deep breath, and then we are going to bring the arms up overhead, and you're going to go as high as you can without arching your back against the wall. So you're going to keep that tuck. You're going to take the arms up, and you're going to reach. And ideally, when you do this, you'd like to get your backs of your hands to the wall. I barely get there. I'm able to, but I'm barely able to. And for me, it's not necessarily thoracic, it's shoulder. And the two are intertwined. So it might be your thoracic is okay, but your shoulders are a little tight. But you want to make sure when we bring those arms up that we don't arch our lumbar spine in order to get them back there. We want to keep that little bit of a rib tuck, and we just want to bring those arms up and overhead. The last one we're going to do standing is an ankle mobility assessment. So you're going to want to make sure that the foot that you're assessing, that toe is about 3 inches away from the wall. So one of my instructors, she actually took her foot and then had you turn and put your foot there, but you want to have it about 3 inches away from the wall. And you want to keep the foot flat. You want to keep it pointing forward, so we want to make sure it's not turned out or turned in, and that tends to happen sometimes. The foot stays flat on the floor, and you're going to push that knee towards the wall. You're going to push that knee towards the wall. Ideally, in a perfect, amazing world, you would like your knee to touch the wall. You want to at least be able to get it close. You don't want to move it forward and then have your heel lift off of the floor. So we press that heel down and we bring that knee forwards, and you want to be able to get that knee to touch the wall. And you want to assess both sides. Something that you will notice is you may have one side that's pretty good and one side that needs a little bit of work. We're not completely even. We tend to become unbalanced over time. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go down to the floor. And the first one we're going to do is seated. And this is the one where you're going to need a wooden dowel or a broomstick or something along those lines. And then you're going to need a doorway. I don't have one, so this is my imaginary doorway. So this is the door jamb in the front, and then this will be the door jamb in the back. You can grab a towel or a pad or something, a pillow to put underneath your hips, because you want to make sure you sit nice and tall for this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit in the doorway. You're going to sit sideways so that you have a door jamb in front of you and a door jamb behind you. You're going to sit cross-legged, but again, you don't want to sit and be in a rounded posture. You want to sit as tall as you can, and you're going to hold this dowel in front of you, shoulders away from the ears, again, sitting nice and tall. And what you're going to do is you are going to rotate, and ideally it would be nice if you could get that broomstick to touch the door jamb. So you're going to rotate one way, come to the center, and then you're going to rotate the other direction. And you will notice one side you might get really close, the other side you might not. But just stay nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed, and again, you're going to rotate, and I'm probably a good 4 to 5 inches away on this side, but then I rotate this way, and I'm almost touching. So you can see that I have an imbalance from one side to the other. So that is our first one down on the floor. The next one that we are going to do is we are going to be on our backs in a dead bug position. So go ahead and lie on your back. And I'll move this out of the way. So you're going to be on your back. Your legs are going to be straight. So you're going to try to keep those hips tucked. And you may notice that if you're lying on your back and your legs are straight, that you arch off of the floor. And that's going to let you know that you probably have tight hip flexors, because those hip flexors are pulling the back of your pelvis forwards. And then if you try to round your low back into the floor, you may notice that your knees pop up off of the floor. It lets you know that the fronts of your hips are tight. But for this test, we're going to take our right leg, we're going to straighten that knee, squeeze the quads, straighten the knee, dorsiflex your feet. So as I scooch back, dorsiflexing means that I'm pulling my toes up towards the ceiling, up towards my face. We're going to just bring that leg up. We're going to lift, and you're going to bring it up until you feel a stretch in the hamstring. You're going to notice how close you get to parallel or perpendicular, and set it down, and then do the same thing. So you're going to dorsiflex, pull that foot up, straighten that leg, and again, you're going to lift, and you're going to set it back down again. So I am not super flexible in my hamstrings. Another thing that you can do to make this a little easier if you wind up with strength issues lifting that leg up is you can place a towel or a yoga strap, if you have one, underneath that foot, and use the yoga strap to help you lift that leg up. But the goal is to keep that knee straight and that foot dorsiflexed. So you want to have straight leg, pull the toes up, lift the leg up until you feel a stretch in the hamstrings, and you may feel a stretch in your calves as well. So we have one more exercise, and I'm going to lower this down for you. Make sure you can see it all right. So this one is going to be similar to what we did in the doorway, where we're doing that spinal rotation, that thoracic rotation for our mobility. And what you're going to do is you are going to take your right leg straight, and you're going to bring the left leg up, and you're going to bring it across the body. And ideally, you would like to get that knee to the floor. If you need to, you can put a foam roller long ways underneath the knee, but we want to take the knee to the floor. We're going to take our hand at our shoulder, and we're going to open that shoulder back behind us while keeping this knee glued to the floor. We're going to open that shoulder back, and we're going to try to see how far we can go. We're going to bring it in the center, and then we're going to switch, and we're going to go over to the other side. So again, your top leg, you want to try to have that knee glued to the floor or even on a foam roller. You're going to take your hand at your shoulder or even behind your ear, and we're going to open the shoulder back behind us. So sometimes we do this and our arm is straight and we stop here, but then our arm goes back and we're like, oh, I can go really far. Your shoulder's not going very far, your arm is. So bring it in, and we're going to open the shoulder back behind us, keeping this knee on the floor, and then return to the center. You want to be able to open at least halfway. So you want to be able to open at least halfway back, ideally. Everybody is different. That's the most important thing. You even saw with me that since I have some shoulder issues, there was a pretty good discrepancy between my right side and my left side when I was doing that back scratch test. So these are different things that you can try. Let me know how they go for you. I do have a program that I am about to start taking applications for that is a mobility workout, basically. So we do mobility. We spend an entire hour running through different mobility drills to hit the entire body. So we get our shoulders and our upper spine, we get our lower body, we get, thoracic spine, hips. We've got a little bit of everything going on in there. So that's a new program that I have coming up. So keep an eye out for that. And I did an hour of this yesterday and it felt absolutely amazing. You would be just in love with how your body feels after you get done with this mobility workout. So until then, I do have 3 mobility workouts that are similar already on my YouTube channel. I will link to those. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below or message me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know how these self-assessments went. Let me know how they go and what you need to work on. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.